To the people that don't keep up to the Brazilian league, you're missing out. Sure, you might not be watching Pep Guardiola's Man City smash through everybody. Well, actually, quite not this season, but you get what I mean. And it sure might not have the biggest names in world football like La Liga with Bellingham, Pedri, Vinny Jr., and all those other stars. But one thing is for certain, it's one of the most entertaining leagues in the world. Brazil's league actually starts and ends in a whole different time than what Europeans are traditionally used to, with the top flight actually starting in May and ending in December. Honestly, I kinda like this format, but that's not the point. I'm here to give you a review on what might have been the craziest season in Brazil's history. Well, first, let's go over the champions. Palmeiras has successfully won their 12th Brazilian top flight title, their 5th league title since 2016. You might know them because Brazilian wonder kid Endrick plays for them. But that's besides the point. They weren't even supposed to win this title. Another team named Botafogo should have won it a long time ago. See, Botafogo had a huge lead in the Brazilian league headed midway into the season, but their coach would leave to go to Al Nassr, yes, that one with Ronaldo, and surprisingly, the players of the team were allowed to appoint the next manager. So in came Lucio Flavio, and things were rocky at first, but not terrible. But everything changed after the Flamengo game. Losing 2-1 to them, they would go on a terrible run of form. I mean, just look at their recent games. They haven't won any of their last 11. That's just wild. They went from title favorites to not even finishing top 4. Like, they don't even automatically qualify for the Libertadores, which is the UCL equivalent for them. This is probably the saddest choke in football this season. Then we look at second place Gremio, who just won the Serie B last season. Then out of nowhere, Luis Suarez pulls up and absolutely turns up and brings Gremio 2 points off of a title. Do you understand how crazy that would have been? Even Leicester's magical season didn't come until their second season back in the Premier League. At least he qualified them for the Libertadores, which the club needed to get back on track. But now that he announced that he's leaving, it's unclear where Gremio will end up next season. And now let's talk about the Libertadores winner. Fluminense, for the first time in their history, have been able to lift up the historical trophy. You might be surprised that Marcelo, yes, that Marcelo, is on this team, which is his childhood team. He joins a very short list of players who have won the UCL and the Libertadores. The final was so nerve-wracking for the Fluminense, but luckily they were able to get the job done, scoring some beautiful goals. And it also gave us this moment, which can only be happening in South America, man. This dude straight up slapped my guy in a final. Alright, let's get past that. It seems as though they put all their eggs into one basket because they finished 7th in the league standings. And we go down further in the table and see one of Brazil's most historical clubs in Sao Paulo finish 11th, but their season wasn't all gloom. They actually secured a Libertadores spot because of their Copa do Brasil win. They knocked out Flamengo in a 2-legged final. Alright, quick side note, I feel like a 2-legged final has its pros and cons. Like, it kind of ruins the fairy tale aspect of a final, where underdog has 90 minutes to maybe get a shock win. But at the same time, a 2-legged final also gives the actual better team the higher chance to win. So what do you guys think of a 2-legged final? Let me know in the comments below. As we go down lower, we see Vasco da Gama sitting at 15th place, 2 points from the relegation zone. And you might be thinking, well, why are you talking about them? Well, Vasco secretly had one of the wildest seasons out of all these teams. By the 11th match day, Vasco had found themselves 19th, collecting just 6 points, and they would spend 23 total match days in the relegation zone. But their second half of the season was insane, grabbing important wins against good teams like Gremio, Botafogo, Fluminense, and Red Bull. This would drag them out of the relegation zone, and they were miraculously able to survive, placing 15th. But for Vasco to escape relegation, someone must have taken their spot. And you might be thinking to yourself about who got relegated, but this right here might come as the biggest shock to all of those who don't keep up with Brazilian football. Santos FC, widely regarded as one of the most historical and prestigious clubs in Brazil, with many titles to their name. We can't forget the legends that have played and came out of this team, such as Pelé or Neymar. In Santos' 111-year history, they have never been relegated, a feat that is only shared by 2 other teams, Sao Paulo and Flamengo. But this season was a nightmare for the side, as for the first time they would get relegated, placing 17th, just 1 point away from safety. This has been huge news in Brazil, and Santos fans are furious and have started a riot after losing on the final match day to Fortaleza. Supporters of Santos would light cars and buses on fire, and just look at these guys. I mean, wow. Police had to throw tear gas in the streets to slow and calm down the riots. Definitely would not want to be a Santos fan right now. Although they are a huge club, they have been unsuccessful for so many years, as their last Libertadores was in 2011 and their last Brazilian championship was in 2004. But I doubt they stay in the Brazilian second division. I'm excited to see their future actually. So what do you guys think? Was Santos' relegation a long time coming? Was Botafogo's choke the worst we will see this season? Which one of these teams piqued your interest the most? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe, as I'll be making more like this one.